So I'm going to do a little art project here. It's my mom's 65th birthday coming up, and she's always had a very strong love of furniture, and especially chairs, and collecting antique chairs, and just generally having too many chairs. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try and build her as an art piece, a quarter scale replica of this old antique chair that I got. Really like the form of it. It's a neat old chair. Cracks in the base of the seat here, and kind of neat falling apart. Missing one of the cross pieces here, but I think it's a neat looking piece. So I'm going to replicate it in quarter scale out of steel and try and stay as true to this form as possible, just for a little art piece that she can perhaps put on a coffee table or something like that. So we'll get started. So I'm going to start off with making the actual seat bottom here. Again, I'm going with quarter scale, so it's going to be pretty easy. All I'm doing is measuring everything, dividing by a quarter. This is near an inch, a little less, so I got 3/16 steel bars here that I've cut. I just cut some chunks of it out of random kind of sizes, and kind of give it that planked look. Also going to probably do some cuts in here, so that it looks like there might be a crack in there. And so start by welding this together from the bottom, and I'm going to try and weld it so it's not perfectly flat. Got my seat kind of roughly welded together, grounded, that being the bottom. See, I kind of made some little gaps and imperfections in the front, so it gives it that kind of more rustic look, you know, a little misalignment and such. Put the taper on it just by hand grinding. So that's good enough roughed out for now, I say. I think I'll move on to the legs. I already found some steel square stock that I had that's appropriate for the front legs. So cut those to size, and next thing I'm going to have to do is try and replicate this back leg, the curved piece. And I'm going to make that out of 3/8 plate. And I'm going to have to build a template for that, and then plasma cut that out and grind it to the correct dimensions. So in order to get my shape for the back brace, or the back of the chair, where the leg and the actual back of the seat, I'm just going to do some measurements here. I have it laid on its back, so I can measure the total height of it, which is around 82 centimeters. Then I can go along with my square to find the base of the seat starts at about 38 centimeters from the top, and then curves down from there, and it's also about 43 centimeters off the height of the table here. So I'll take all those measurements and I'll divide them by 4 to get my quarter size, and I'm going to build a template out of hardboard, and plasma cut that shape out. I'll also allow on the template for the cut of the plasma cutter. You should check out my video on plasma cutter templates if you want more information on that. But I'll go ahead and cut that out of 3/8 plate, and I'll grind that all down. Well, things are progressing here. I have the back legs tacked on, and I've also cut the front legs size out of some rusted seal, so this kind of gives you some nice different marks on the legs that makes them seem a little older. So I'll go ahead and get those welded in, and I'll use just a welding magnet to keep them square to the base of the chair, and I'll tack those on. It's getting there. Definitely looks like a chair. All right, we're getting there. Put the bottom supports in, 3/16 steel. In a project like this, it's all pretty straightforward stuff. You're just cutting the piece, scaling it, and replicating it in steel. Biggest challenge here is probably the weld pulls. Like when you tack this leg down on this side, it's gonna pull it that way. And if you're familiar with welding, that can be a real pain in the so something you got to take into account. Maybe like start there, and when you tack it, it'll bring it in. Kind of more of an experience thing, but all in all, it's looking good. Put some bottom rungs in next, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of clean it all up, and it's almost there. Well, that was a bit of a project. Took me most of the day actually in the end. A lot of little kind of precision, finicky stuff to do. So anyways, I think it looks pretty good. Probably just scuff it up a little and maybe give it a coat of some kind of sealer just to keep it from rusting all over the coffee table or wherever it's going to end up. But kind of a neat project, and I mean, you could do this with anything, obviously, just making something to scale. It was fun. I'm happy with it anyway, so happy birthday, Mom. And as usual, it's frickin' heavy.